Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Wake Up Wednesdays. So, how are you doing today? How is your week going? If your Monday and Tuesday or the beginning of the day isn't going according to plan, that's okay. Don't worry about it. You still have the rest of the day, Thursday and Friday, to get back on track, to get back to plan. So, let's use this opportunity to reinvigorate one another and let's wake up. So, welcome to Wake Up Wednesdays. I just wanted to say to all of the veterans out there, happy Veterans Day. Thank you so much for your service. This is such a beautiful country we live in. You guys know I'm from the United States. I'm from New York. So thank you so much for your service. And to all those around the world, happy Diwali. If you worked with me in Midtown, we used to go out to lunch every year for Diwali and have some amazing Indian food. I know the holiday is much bigger than that, but it was just my small way that I had the chance to participate with everyone. And happy holidays, guys. Now is the time for the holidays, so please take this time to rest and recharge and spend time with your loved ones. So I want to talk to you today about an article I posted in the group chat that was a repost, and the original article was entitled, Do Your Meetings Suck? And I thought that that was such a great title that really caught my attention. And it really made me think, do my meetings suck? Do the meetings that I've attended, do they suck? And what I did was I read through that article and there was some really good information in there. There was some really good statistics. And I pulled out top 5 tips of things that I think would help and things that were in the article. So the top 5 tips, and we'll go through each one, are setting a clear agenda, encouraging participation, using visual aids, keeping it interactive, and the follow-up. 5 key tips. So if you've ever been in a meeting and there's just way too many people in the meeting, or there's a couple people dominating the meeting, or the agenda is not relevant to you, or the senior leader that's hosting the meeting thinks this is the next best thing since peanut butter and jelly, and no one else is on the same page. This is why it's so important to have effective meetings. And also, when we think about things like artificial intelligence and machine learning, we're moving more towards a world where we can have our AI update a line of code for us, build a piece of software for us, update a presentation, update a file, update some tracking mechanism. So our in-person engagement is more important than ever. And as leaders, the amount that we prepare for the meeting shows how much we care. So let me say that again. The amount we prepare shows the amount we care. And people sense that. So we want to gauge that interaction. And studies show that 23 hours that executives spend in meetings each week, on average, 8 are unproductive. So we're spending all this time in meetings, but are we really being productive? And 90% of people report daydreaming in meetings, and 73% of them admit to not even paying attention to the meeting, just showing up to the meeting on camera and doing work in the background. So that attributes to waste. The total amount of waste was attributed in meetings to about $30 billion annually globally. So we want to try and avoid that. If we're going to take people's time and attention, let's make sure we make the most of it. If you haven't already seen the video I did entitled Meetings, 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 that video talked about what to do when you're double and triple booked and making sure that you only take the most important meetings. But the first concept in there we're going to talk about in a moment, which is an OPA block. So before you get into the OPA block, the first thing you want to do is you want to set your intention for the meeting. So you're going to walk into the meeting and say, hey guys, what is our intention today? What's our intention for this meeting? Immediately, once we set the intention for the meeting, we get everyone's attention because we're asking everyone, what is your intention for this meeting? Immediately, we get engagement. That stops them from working in the background, daydreaming, looking at their mobile devices. We get their attention immediately by setting the intention. So we talked in another meeting about OPA blocks, which is the first tip, setting a clear agenda. And that OPA block is outcome, purpose, and action items. Those 3 things are key in the agenda. Now, The agenda, you have to ask yourself, did you prepare? Did you show that you care? Or did you just throw it together last minute and it looks like it was thrown together last minute? I've seen some guys, some gals, they don't even, they don't even try and hide it. They will send an agenda out like 7 minutes before a meeting and it looks like they just threw it together. And they go in a 30-minute meeting, they'll talk for 15, 20 minutes about things that are relevant to no one really. Or they'll talk about their personal lives for 15 to 20 minutes. And I think all of us love to share and engage and get to know each other personally, but time is money to some folks, or some folks have other things that they need attending to. So let's make the most of their time. Let's show them that we care. Let's be attentive to them. So not only having your OPA block and a clear agenda, which is the first tip, but also making sure that that agenda is relevant to not only you, but to everyone. And one of the tips that I can give you on how to do that, that I do myself, is on my website or on the company's website on a simple list, if you will. I allow the list to be read write to the participants, and I allow them to, throughout the week, actually go onto that list and add items. And they can add anything they want to talk about. They can upload materials or really whatever they want. And I'll get a list of those items. I'll come into the meeting. I'll prioritize the list before the meeting. I'll send out my OPA block and I'll start the meeting and I'll say, okay, guys, I'll show them. I'll say, what's our intention for this meeting? These are the list of items I've gotten that you've all contributed to. We've all collaborated around. This is the priority in which I think we should discuss these things. Does anyone have anything pressing or urgent, or does anyone feel strongly about changing any one of these items? And that gets everyone to contribute to the agenda. So the leads into the next tip, which is encourage participation. Encouraging participation ensures that we include both our extroverts and introverts. Extroverts are going to want to raise their hands and shout things out. We shouldn't shut that down. We should encourage that. We should also give introverts an opportunity to participate through virtual whiteboards, chats, things like that. We want to make sure that we don't have only a select few people dominating a conversation, either in chats, virtual whiteboards, or in person. If you're like me and you're doing meetings in person and virtually, I'll do it in person with people in the room. I'll be writing on the whiteboard and I'll be checking the screen to see if anyone virtually is coming in. So we have, and we include everyone. Using visual aids, pulling together a beautiful slide and reading the numbers to me on the slide that I'm more than capable of reading or you're more than capable of reading will surely lose your audience. If you have a beautiful slide that's well laid out, it should tell a story and you shouldn't even need to be there. So pulling up a slide and just reading the slide to everyone is not very effective. What is effective, however, is to pull a slide up and say, hey, what do you guys think about this slide? Don't say a word. We are leaders because we're expected to lead and go first, except when we're asking for opinions and feedback in meetings. That is the only time that leaders go last. So we're leaders because we're expected to lead and go first, but in meetings, we allow everyone else to talk and then we talk last. Keeping it interactive, plenty of tools, right? Whiteboarding tools, Zoom, Miro, Micro, Lucid, Adobe, all of these things facilitate interaction, allow people to go back and forth. And then a follow-up summary after the meeting is the last tip. So your AI automated tools will alleviate the heavy lifting for this, sending out summaries, sending out action items. You should definitely use these tools. But most importantly, you should send out a survey at the end of every meeting. Very simple, 1 to 5. How effective was this meeting for you? 1 to 5. How much value did this meeting add for you? 1 to 5, 5 being the most. And give them a little comments box. You can even do this anonymously. If you keep to these 5 tips, I can assure you it will make your meetings more effective. It will show that you prepared. It'll show that you cared. And remember, leaders go first, except we're in meetings and we're asking people for their opinion and their collaboration. That's when we go last. So guys, I hope this helped. Happy Veterans Day, happy Diwali, happy holidays. And I hope that your meetings do not suck. I hope that they're more interactive and engaged. And please feel free to reach out to me. Let's talk again soon. All right. Bye-bye.